Hi class, this is your video feedback for your portfolios this week. I'm going to go through these as a first-time user and upload your video. You'll look through all of that. Then I'll be reading over what you posted. But right now, I'm going to look at it as if I am a first-time user and see about the functionality, some of the layout issues, and usability. All right, so jumping right in here, Erin. These are a little big and not really going with your aesthetics, your social icons. So find out what your colors are going to be here and stick to those. I do love the text that you're using. It's really clean and nice combination. All right, and I like this. I think that works. I'm not sure what this is. Okay, I'm not sure that this background, I see what it is. I'm not sure it's working for you completely. And I'm not sure it's yours. Is this yours? Everything needs to be your own, and no, if you're a photographer or a videographer, and no placeholder images or videos. Again, maybe you choose the all white for this, a little smaller. This isn't as great as this. Okay, so maybe work on that. This font is different from this font, so we need to get some consistency here. This is good up here. And there. So I like the way this comes in. It's not too bad. Again, you want to make sure this is not a placeholder image, ideally, because they're expecting that you can take your own images, and maybe you did. Maybe that's it. I sometimes check people's work, and other times I find out it's theirs, so I don't assume. This is a little busy back here. Really, what am I looking for? I feel like I'm looking at this reel and this header, but then I've got just in the corners the work, and really the work is the important thing, right? So let's clean that up a little bit. You do have your context there, and that's good. So that's not really anchored where it should be, right? It should be here. And this is the thing with the parallax scrolling. It really depends on the images that you put together, because it can not work more often than work, all right? This image isn't quite right for that. All right. So, yeah, a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of consistency. You'll see more as you look through your peers and get some better ideas, all right? All right, good start. All right, let's take student film portfolio off, because everyone's a student their whole life, really, and your work is your work. Try not to have placeholder images. If this is yours, nice, it's sharp. I hope somewhere here you tell them what you edit with. This may be better as a sans serif like this, rather than the serifs on these. Okay, good. This is a little hard to read, right? We want to be very careful with headers. Okay. All right. Instead of putting this down here, why don't you say, I'm Sam or whatever. Or you can go ahead and use your last name, since we don't say it anywhere else. And then you can kind of bring this up a little bit, or give a little more attention here. It'd be nice to take that in to Photoshop and maybe touch it up. You know, look at the old-fashioned hand coloring of photos. Do you need this? You know, do you need a map? If you have a studio, maybe. Let's make sure these go to you, especially the LinkedIn, or disable them. As a photographer and videographer, Instagram is going to be important, and LinkedIn. Okay. I like this better than this, and you only need one. Okay, so this probably needs to be filled in. It's breaking the page up a lot, but I like the way you have your media. I'm not sure what this is. So if you don't have current events, then you'll disable that for now. Okay, I think I would rather see this aligned. Okay, and that. All right, so really close, really close. Think about whether you want your phone number on there if you want to give it to them after they contact you. All right, great start. Okay, Skeeta, this looks a little skewed. The reels, and I think this, I always am drawn to this as what can we do to fix this, and this. I think maybe take this off if nothing else and take that off. That might be okay. Again, try and replace these placeholder images with some that you take. So everybody should get used to shooting, making sure that there's no camera name on the body, making sure that it's in focus and sharp and that the lighting is great. Okay, just try and duplicate the shots that you see. Okay, I love this photo. It's really fun. I wish the hand were not cut off, but I love it. Might need a hairline roll, but I guess not. I guess that's all right. Okay, I like that, bringing life and flavor to your content, and you're keeping it short, and it's good. We don't always need to go back into our, life history. This is fun. Okay. Nice, a Dorothea Lange quote for a little bit of cred. Maybe a little tight on that. I don't know. I mean, ordinarily you would have something balance this out. So far, it doesn't bother me. And this is good. We might want to put the same amount of spacing that we have here. Less scrolling that way. Good. Just make those consistent when you do it. Interesting. I don't know why that seems interesting to me. Make sure that this title isn't covering up anything. And if you have drone work, good. Be mindful of putting your phone number there so you don't have unsolicited calls. Make sure all of your text, headers, and things are consistent. Same font, etc. All right, I would like to see navigation up here. for sure. And probably navigation that freezes up here. I think that's important. All right. All right. Good start. All right, Randy. Let's see. Yours is going to look different depending on your browser. I'm in Chrome right now. You want to check them all. This is hard to read, so let's simplify that. Maybe use this or this font. It's the fact that it has the narrow strokes. See, like the crossing of the T. That's the hard thing about, okay, this needs to be corrected, the spelling. That's the hard thing about serifs. They sometimes have really thin strokes. Update this, really important. Make sure this is going to your work, it is, and that your brand is consistently going through all of it. I don't like the way this is broken up. Yeah, we need to be careful about breaking things up. Always leave padding, breathing space. All right, you've got 2 logos. So choose one. You do want your name, but I would take this and put it on a transparent background for sure. All right. Okay. And okay, so this isn't linked up, and it feels like a menu, but it's not. I feel like I should be going to examples when I hit that. So I'm not sure you even need that. This drop down is cutting into your image, so you want to fix that. This is being broken up, you want to fix that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Alignment and spacing, consistent spacing between work. Always consistent, like a grid. Yeah, this drop down is covering up content. Yeah, and you switched to a different font over here. Well, yeah, you want a grid. You want to work with a grid for sure. This is different font, right? The spacing between the leading, it's called, between the lines. Spacing here. I want to make you aware of that. So you think about it. Spacing, right? We have to have margins and padding and consistency. One image is enough for your profile. All right? Okay. Only tell people what they want to know about your work and what you can do for them. All right? All right. Good start. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Okay. Nice and simple. We know what you do. This is a link to something, but I don't know what. So, good. Maybe just a slightly smaller font or a smaller sans serif. Interesting. Nice. Again, maybe a sans serif. Sans serif. I'm going to recommend that you choose a different image for this, all right? It's okay that you might have violence in a film if that's the case and that's a prop weapon, but you want people to want to click on that. And people don't want to click on angry faces, violence. When they're looking at something like this feels like fashion, This feels like fashion, but suddenly I've got this dramatic image and it's a little jarring. So it's the composure and the shot itself is good. But if you've got another one that's just as good, that isn't this highlight, violence, then you would be better off to choose that so that people will click play. Okay? We're just not wired to actually go towards violence. We're wired to avoid it. Angry faces, danger. All right? Yeah, so I think a sans serif. I like this. People do want to see your face, but it's a good shot. Make sure your brand is being carried over. Is this necessary? Maybe, I don't know, but maybe it should align. Okay. I really want a navigation bar, or at least a hamburger. All right. And I feel like I should eventually click on these and see work. But right now you have it like this, and that's okay. All right. All right. You could consider putting these side by side and aligning with these, but it will make it smaller. And I don't want you to ruin what you have, so that's something just to think about. All right, beautiful work. It did take me a while to make sure this was your own, so I hope everybody will just tell me when it's their work and when it isn't. So a watermark is very helpful, Darius, for your work. And I know you have another logo, that kind of an initial script, which would be a great watermark on some of these things. Beautiful shot. This I have a problem with, right? The header is overlapping. This is overlapping the text here. So that's a bit of a problem, right? But if I click on design, everything is pretty good. You do need to update to 2020. All right. And no placeholder text. It would be good down the road sometime that if you clicked on these, you could give a little asset guide on what they were, right? But in this case, we are assuming that you did the graphics. Okay. Beautiful shot. It's ordinarily you would align it closer to this, but not so bad. Let's somewhere put a small light watermark of whoever took this photo. All right. And link it to their work. If you took it, fine, put your watermark on it. But if someone else did, give them some credit and link to them. Nice and simple. And of course, the images are perfectly lit and in focus. Catch light in the eyes. Nice, nice, nice. All right. All great choices. Okay. All right. Excellent. Excellent job. All right. You don't really have much that you have to do, but you do have to update. Now I'm wondering, where did I see that? Maybe it wasn't your site that had the update needed. Well, update that. But I thought you had copyright date at the bottom. All right. Good job. Just some details. And I checked out your Instagram, so I know that your content is being carried over and your brand. Okay. Nice. We have to, if you took this photo, we need to get rid of Sony. Good. I think maybe that should be centered. And really only need it once, but you know, small and centered down here, maybe even as a button would be nice. Make this all caps, see how that looks. Okay, we're having to scroll a lot to get to the main event, all right? So let's bring all this up. And we need a little bit on what your role was, just a little. Okay. Okay. Bring that up just a little so it aligns with this. Maybe make that a little bigger so we've got a little bit of hierarchy. That's a header. Right, so yeah. Consider left aligning that, take that off. This, it's not quite working because, like I said, we have to scroll it. So try to do something with this. If this, yeah, I don't want this here, and I'm not sure I want that there. If it is, maybe bring it down and make it all caps. See about left aligning. The images look interesting. I want to play those. That's a good sign. Bigger image of you. Okay, this is good, but it's too small. And maybe if it were enlarged, it's going to have too much grain to it. But look for one. Create one yourself. You know, use a model and set them up in front of the window and the camera between the window and your subject. And after you have them well lit, you know, replace them and have them either take the shot or something. Let's get rid of this. Okay. It's good to have headers all in the same place, but we're really scrolling too much to get to the content. Okay, a little space here. Okay. Yeah, let's get straight into this. Here's the thing, when we tell somebody that we are going to show them the contact, that's what they want immediately. We've promised that, so they shouldn't have to scroll. All right, but you're getting very close. Maybe not this one, maybe not this site, but in the future, think about black with white lines, all right? Black backgrounds, right? All right. Maybe very narrow sans serif tall text. Okay. All right. Good start. All right. Here, the main thing, I think, not the main thing, but one of the things that I see right away, Spencer, is you want to cut this out and make the background transparent. You are going to have to go in and get some detail, and that is going to have to be in Illustrator. It's going to be a job. There's a lot of detail. Okay. Okay, good. Good. Nice. I don't know that you shot this or that it's stock, but it doesn't feel as much like stock if it is. Good call to action. Nice and true. Okay, and this is really nice high contrast. Good, but you know, you need a better resolution. You're a photographer, right? Okay. All right. And you could totally work for Disney. Just tell them you want to. Okay, so here, all right, consistent. I feel like that font's a little larger. All right. You don't have your context. It needs just a couple of lines about what your role was and everything. But I am enjoying the colors that you're using. All right. I feel like there's something not quite right about this. It's the rules and the stark white. There's something that I like, that it's a grid and nice like that. I don't know, maybe a little too much white space, and it feels a little bit like a shopping page. Think about that, because everything else is working. All right. Do you have a studio? Do they need to know how to get there? If not, then you're a studio without walls, right? Nice and consistent. All right. I'm really liking this. I really like it. A few tweaks, right? And this is going to take time. Okay. Make sure when you're using video that it's not slowing down your sight. So if you took this, then maybe there's a reason to have it on here. If not, then it's not going to be worth it to you. So hopefully you shot that. You know, I was looking at this and some of it, you know, centers and so forth, but usually what we try and do is just left align it. It's okay to have multiple columns, but we still need to have alignment. This is bothering me, and having one word on a line. This may need a little more text, you know, to make it a little more common with this. Left align, left align, left, left. And again, if you have a location and you want people to know about it, then that's okay. Let's see. Eventually, these are a little big. Eventually, you may want to have similar backgrounds on everything. I feel like this was cut out. I'm not sure it was actually, photographed on paper. Left align, try to get them to about 2 lines each. You know. Okay. I want to see these on the same row, and then this can be over here. I know that's going to make it a lot of font here. Maybe you can cut it down a little bit in places, or even, you know, reduce, try and reduce how many lines you have maybe. If it really doesn't work, okay, but I feel like, you know, this could from up here. I just feel like this could be shortened a little bit. All right. But I do like the layout. I like the way you've shown your clients. Okay. Yeah, I think this can be condensed to a few lines. You know, we just have so many sections here. We want to reduce the sections. Like maybe you have 3 here and 3 here with a little less space, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I think you could say Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturday by appointment, and Sunday closed. All right. And this can be a little reduced. Okay. Headers are consistent. Yeah, that's what I would do with that. I almost feel I need a little bit of subheaders here, but something to think about. Okay, all right. Great start. I really was drawn to this. I love the colors, Tyrone. The lighting is interesting for the topic. And this, I don't like this stuff. And do you really need to sign in? I don't know. Let's left align this sometimes. We try not to have one word, but sometimes this is hard to read. You know, it might be a design element, but make sure it's easy to read. That's the problem. I do like sans serif for this. And nice poster. Too much space there. We need to do that. Let's see. Okay, click. Okay, your lighting is good. Okay. Okay, totally different shift here of fonts. So choose your fonts and be consistent. This image doesn't have enough resolution to it to be that size. I like the layout, but I'm beginning to wonder. Yeah. And don't forget, headers are larger than the body copy. Okay. Another different font here. Okay. Your team, you will want to have the same treatment, the same lighting, ideally, for your team. Well, they can be varied if they're all great and work together, but keep it in mind. Little blurry here, which means you don't want to have it next to something really sharp because it's just going to accentuate that. This does need to be sharper. That is too, it's got a treatment on it that's not quite working. Okay. Might want to get into that a little quicker. Okay. That's a pretty good shot. Could be sharper. Another font. We got to be consistent. All right. This looks skewed, and I'm not sure what it is, so I need some context to tell me what that's about and why it's there. Make sure you are carrying over any logos and treatments. Okay. So, look at these fonts and be consistent throughout. All right. Okay. All right. So close. So close. Can't wait to see it next time. All right, this needs some high contrast, right? The home page. It's black. Nice image. I looked through some of these things, left a line. Nice. Very nice. This appears to be a logo, but I don't see it anywhere else, like up here. But then you'd have it twice, but here, somewhere, maybe lightly, the faint color, this color on that color or something like this. Okay. This needs to be a little bit bigger. I know it's lovely, but it's just too hard to read. That's a little tight, the kerning. Such a difference in font here. Okay. That was good. Left align this. Best if you have the same number of rows. Okay. All right. All right. I think we can get this on one page. Okay, more like this. I like that we have your name here, but and this works. But we do need to get higher up quicker. Maybe take your number off, but maybe your social media comes down, but I do like the way it breaks it up, so. Yeah, well, sometimes you just have to make choices. Maybe this space comes up a little bit. All right, I like what you've done. I like what you've done. I like the way you're showing your work. All right, good job. I think the audio was a little low when this started, but it probably just eases into it. All right, great start. And we've looked at that. And okay, make sure that your images are all some that you have taken. A little bit of space here. You've got a lot here, but none here. Okay, when I click this, I am going to the CMS. and about, okay, you want to bring that up higher, and probably a little more. Editing and production services, that's good. You could talk about what kind of editing software you use, kind of, genre you like to work in. Let's get into this right away. Again, this, if we have to get rid of this because we need to get this up the page, all right? All right. Then you're going to need some work uploaded, even if it's student work, but you don't have to have a lot. And like I said, take your camera, practice taking still shots, set up still lifes, keep them simple, and the lighting is everything. And notice the backgrounds, the textures, everything about it. Do a search for still life paintings before you start, and that should help you. All right? All right. I'm looking forward to seeing these for your revisions. Make sure that the feedback is implemented. All right? All right. See you then.